Good morning, everyone. My name is Karen, and I'm a clinical psychologist. And for those who stay tuned with the book doc, I think you're not um, unfamiliar with clinical psychologists because recently clinical psychologists have been sharing a lot about mental health issues or mental health learning during our MCO period or during our coronavirus crisis. So today that I'm going to share a bit about single motherhood during MCO. I noticed that a lot of single mothers have been facing a lot of difficulties, but then in the society it seemed to be left out. So I would like to talk a bit about what kind of crisis the single mother will be facing and also what we can do. What the single mothers can do and what we can do as a community to be supportive. So in the coronavirus crisis, I'm aware that for all the families, it's already very, very difficult. But for single parents, having to suddenly manage kids whose school and playground are closed and whose caregivers and babysitter can no longer come to work can be especially overwhelming. And one of the crises that we'll be facing right now is because we are all afraid of the contagion risk and also the family health responsibility. So for parents, a family with two parents, usually that you can share around the workload about parenting, about financial perhaps, about how to take care of everybody. But then for single mother, usually they have to be the sole breadwinner, the sole caregiver. So it will be all of the responsibility on their shoulder. Okay, so on the contagion risk and also family health responsibility, I think when talk about where to buy masks, how to teach our children about the social distancing, about hygiene, about why schools are closing down, why you no longer can go out and play freely as how you were before, and all these education and planning and preparations, it needed a lot of effort and a lot of time to plan out. So because to make sure that everyone is safe and okay, then the government has already started with the movement control order and the restrictive movement um, and we have wait a while sorry okay. With the restricted movement to ensure that everyone is safe, and then we have started announced during 18th of March, and then we no longer can see our friends as how we used to be, or family members, and then no traveling and closing down of the shops and every things that we used to do has already became different. So now that we also have to face with, in movement control order, like if mother would need to go out to buy groceries, and then what do we do with the children? And we can't left all the children at home. And if we bring all the children together, it will also cause us some hassles, or we are worried about if they get contagious. And furthermore, about like because all these things has changed after the MCO, and then we now that have to readjust to the new norms, new rules, new roles, and new routines. And for a single mother, for those who especially work from home, it would be a lot more difficult. So you have to reset the routine, and what do the child do during when the time that they're at home and not studying. Okay, and nowadays that mom have to take up a lot of multiple roles for parent at once. If you look at the picture and then you can see the hand like an octopus, you have to carry the laptop, you have to cook, you have to do laundry, you have to vacuum, and you have to be the teacher, the cleaner, and etc. So there are lots of roles that you have to juggle with, and it's not very easy. And furthermore, I think one of the stressful consideration is about the financial income, where I'm aware that some company is doing the salary deduction, and also what happen if the parent is daily paid, and also like doing business, and then there's no longer income and you're still having a lot of debt or loan to actually pay. So all these problems actually can come together at this crisis time, and people might not be aware of what's happening as much for single motherhood or single parenthood. So in such crisis time, what single mother can do to overcome the crisis and the challenges? I think first of all, when all come to all, it still start with the acceptance, where Carl Jasper talk about acceptance is the moment of soul, the moment is soul reality, meaning that it's just accept that that's how things happen as how it is, and accept how you feel, even if it is anger or frustration, and acknowledge that right now we are all in survival mode, and imperfections, it's actually perfectly okay. You know, I'm aware that there's a lot of very hardworking mother, and you always wanted to give the best for your child, and then you want to do the best as a mother. And I think during the crisis time, and we all just have to acknowledge that, we are all in survival mode, and then we just give the best that we could. And sometimes when things get really hard, and it's okay to set the parenting bar a bit lower and settle for less academics, relaxed screen time is more to like it's okay that you let your child to have 20-30 minutes more in playing the gadgets, and then or watching TV, but of course not watching TV the whole day lah, huh? And then and how we get to go back to the basics. Sometimes, even if you get your child fed or bath, or they manage to do the homework that required, and then they get to have a bit of fun, and it's already a day, and it's already been a good enough day. And most importantly, when things will get really hard, find a few minutes a day for yourself, doing something that you like reading, like doing some manicure when the children go to bed. So because you deserve all the time and deserve all the precious time for yourself too, not just towards your kids. So acceptance is a very key point. I think the quicker that we come to acceptance, it will be easier for us to move on, and also to set up about like what to do next, instead of we're battling with the reality. And there are lots of things that we can control, there are lots of things that we couldn't control, and that's all perfectly fine. And if we can control, we'll start with some solution focus, what we can do, what to do next. And then if we can't control, and then we just choose with acceptance and peace. Okay. So I think a lot of the questions people asking around is always about the economics, about the finance, about the income, because I do think that this is the basic needs of human, because these can ensure that how your lifestyle is going to get on. So I started with this slide because I felt like given the finances part, if you have planned well, it will reduces a lot of distress for everybody, not just for single parent. But single parent as a sole breadwinner, or as a person who have to find the income for the whole family. So I think it's good that you can sit down and also replan on the finances and budgets, including the loan and the debt. So you can find a place to write it down, everything that how much you need to spend, how much you need to have. So to plan it out. And make plans regarding emergency cutbacks. Maybe there are some things that you can reduce the amount of having like reduce the amount of the spending, because now every cent is very very important. And if mother can think about like extra income, that would be really really great, such as selling crafts, like you can do some crafts with your children. And I'm aware that nowadays the online business has been growing really really fast, that some of my clients that actually do cakes at home, and then they sell it online and through Facebook, Instagrams. I think that will be really great to help them to get some extra incomes. And about like financial aid, I was thinking about there are some single parents who have a really really difficult time, and I actually speak to the because our hospital has actually a Jabatan Social Perubatan, and we have one Azura. She was very very helpful, and she suggested us on these several websites where government or other people actually can get help or get financial aid from from the agencies. And this is also what we can do as community because of the informations that we are getting, and then we can share around to the people that actually that they really needed it. So maybe your neighbor, maybe your relatives, maybe your friends. So you can share around these messages. I think the most common one that usually the Ministry of Welfare, the Jabatan Kebajikan Malaysia, you can visit their website. And then also I think recently it was been announced by our Prime Minister about Bantuan Prihatin Nasional. And then the other one is automatic application. And then nowadays, I mean, in the period of now, that actually they give appeal for those who didn't get it, and then until 31st May, so you can go to the website and see again, have a look again. And then there's also like a portal for the Negeri Selangor, Kerajaan Negeri Selangor or Selangorku. You can actually look at it. There are several financial aid that both of us seen yesterday. They were still quite updated for those who like penjaja, hawkers, like night markets person. Then you can actually apply for one off 500 ringgit, and then help from the government. And also the Prime Minister announced that the KWSP, the account too, we can have some withdrawal as well, like 500 per month, but only for account too, so you can have a look at it. Or this Baitulmal Wilayah Persekutuan or Zakat Selangor, this one is mostly for the Muslims, and then you can try apply it as well. And then you just need to prepare the documents that needed, and then submit to them. So while some clients or some patients who come to hospital, we actually have Jabatan Social Perubatan. So they will help you out with applying some for some funds that you need. But then it's for patients like usually that is referred by the doctors. So for medicals or other cost tambang when they come to hospital for follow-up. So I may have quite a limited resources here, but I know that the community has even more resources. Okay, I think is that my line is affected. Okay, I think my line is affected. I'll wait for a while. Can anyone reach me? Sorry that my line is not very stable. Okay. Um, okay. So I will just keep going because my line is not very stable. So I just try my best to continue. Okay. So if you can see the slides, or you can just listen from me. Okay, so all these resources actually I have very limited of it, and the community will have a lot more. And if you know more, that you can actually recommend it to the community or those in need help around, and then sharing the resources that you have. Okay, so I think for single mother who still need to work and get income, that sometimes you will need to work from home. And while working from home, I think there's a lot of challenges because you have to juggle with work, and then you at the same time there's a lot of kids running around, and then like call mommy, 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 I need this, mommy, 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 he hits me. So that's a lot of challenges that you'll be facing, because it's unlike when you go to work, you don't have to do this and that, and then now you have to do both at the same time. So while working from home, I think it will be suggestible that you speak to your employer that you may need some time responding to your children's needs, because maybe you have some crisis, and always make them alert that you have to take care of your child, and hopefully that your employer will be understanding of it. And if you have younger children, sometimes you give them a bell to ring when they needed you while watching TV or while doing their homework. And then sometimes we may be too focused about like on work and unaware. And then you can get elder sibling. I think it's a good time to let them take the responsibility to babysit the younger sibling while mother at work. Yeah. So they learn about a new skill now to take care of the younger sibling. Okay, so I think important about the adapting to the new routine is actually to create a schedule, to replan a new routine, and for parents to have a better plan time, especially when work from home. And I think it doesn't have to get stressed over like what kind of activity that we need to do, like stuff it with a lot of activities and a lot of things to achieve. But then I think it'd be good enough that you have the two both mandatory routine, as like the basic chores and the school duties, and also the fun activities, some arts and the craft, so that the child know what to expect and feel more secure in the uncertain time. Yeah. So next one would be, because of social distancing and the MCO period, that we might not be able to reach our family and friends that easy. But I think we are so blessed with internet and also advanced technology that we can actually schedule a Zoom call with friends and family. So just take a few minutes one night after kids are in bed, to just connect with the family and friends during MCO, when you need to talk with the girls. You need to have emotional support. You need to have their encouragement, and always just talk with them, and get the children to have video calls with their grandparents and their favorite babysitter. And I think a little tricks here that can help mom about like childcare. Sometimes you can have a virtual childcare, meaning that you can get the grandparents to talk to them in front of the laptop, and then ask them to take care of your child for like 10-20 minutes while you need to do something or some chores or work, and have children to connect with their friends, and they miss school, and they will be missing their friends too. Okay. And I think this one is very, very important, because before this is something that we can control, something that we can do. But then but life is always up and downs, and then we might be dealing with a lot of things that we can't control. So just go easy on yourself, and expect to have frustration when spending time longer with one another at home. Expect that your child will have tantrums. Expect that they will have conflict. They will hit each other. Expect that you will have conflict with them, because they might not be or following the instructions at home, and then expect a messy day would happen. Yeah, but regardless of whatever things that happen, but just go easy on yourself. You are doing the best that you could, and aware about own emotions, when you get frustrated, when it's really difficult, and then try to have a space and a place to actually internalize it. I mean, to process it, to regulate it, and seek for emotional support, and take a small break of time, and get a call to your friends, and just tell yourself and affirm yourself, or get your friends to affirm you, that assure you that all things are gonna be it's going to be well. Okay, and take some time to just breathe. And of course, sometimes things happen to quite fast, and then so overwhelming. I think it's good that we can get a small break and then deep breathing time. Just yeah, so just a small break and then a few minutes. Even though your kids are dragging your clothes and then shouting, and then just have a quick time. Yeah, to take a deep breath and then a few deep breaths, and then it's a quick way to lower down your stress and recharge before you continue to your task. And try out, it's really workable. Okay, and when things happen, there's a lot of difficult time that we have lots beyond our control, and then we have multiple challenges, financial, logistic, and parent struggle. But then we may also experiencing bitterness, anger, frustration, but we still can choose joy every day. And then because the children also need a mother who has an example of a mother who has joy beyond her circumstances, because whatever that we are doing right now is we are setting a role for our children, and to see despite no, regardless of what happened, but we still be able to pull through it, and then we still be able to find out the joy among all the difficulties. Okay, and while spending the time with the children, it's good that we always be present, because we can be quite absent-minded sometimes, right? While we are reading a book with a child, and we keep thinking about the work, and I have unfinished chores, and then what time should they sleep, and what should they do. So I think this would be good that we can remind ourselves to be present and spend quality time and listen to your children. I think this is something that we do it less likely to do it. Like what is their favorite color? Have we ever known? Favorite classes, favorite teacher, favorite book, and why they like the book, and just listen to their stories. And sometimes, if needed, then give them some advice, offer some life wisdom. So it's really open heart to heart talk, and just be present and put the phone and electronic away. Okay. And family, I think most importantly, everything we do it together. You can cook meal. There's a lot of activities that the mother can design out with the children, that we can cook meals together, and then you can make a contest. I think, but the cooking of the meal, it has to be a bit age appropriate. If they're elder, and then you can use the stove or the oven, the baking. And then if they're younger, they can do with some simple like sandwiches, and then you can do crafts together. And let's say like what are you building? Look at what am I building. So play games together, whose turn, and then play some board games, and then karaoke time, and then at the same time you can act or dance like what the song tells you to. It also provides you a lot of like exercise time. So look at what I do. And then organize home. You can get your children to involve in helping you with the chores, and then like look at how I do and look at how you do, and then we do it together. They can clean up their bed or their bedroom as well, or the toilet, the bathroom, and let them be helpful, and always praise them. So whenever the effort was given, because we want to acknowledge their effort, want to appreciate them, and so that they feel whatever that they're giving are being appreciated as well. So I would like to give a brief summary, but then sorry that my video is a bit stuck, but then if you can hear me, so these are the summaries, and about how a single mother can do, about acceptance, about financial planning, about juggling between work and home, and how we can let our employer be noticed about, we need to attend to our children, and also let our children to ring us when they needed help, and create a schedule, so that when the schedule is visible, and the child will learn also the discipline, and then look at it and predicted about what was needed to be done in a day. And then schedule a Zoom call with friends, not just you, and it can be with your children as well, with their grandparents, their relatives, so that they stay connected even though that they're not seeing each other physically. And be present. I think this is really important, so that we can stay present about like how we get connected deeply with one another and have quality bonding time. So, and family time, do everything together, cook meals, karaoke, dancing, exercising, everything together, so that I think it's more fun to have the activities done together. Or sometimes we can do some crafts. There are a lot of online resources, and we can actually make things out. And who knows, when you made it, you can put it online and get some extra incomes as well. So, and family time, and most importantly for mother, to really go easy on yourself, because you have already do the best that you could in the time of crisis, and a lot of the responsibility on your shoulders. So please do take good care of yourself, and about like when you get good care of yourself, your child will also learn how to take good care of themselves, and also take good care of each other. Okay, so a little advertisement here, if you look at the poster next to it, it's actually from our clinical psychology MOH telegram. Please do join the telegram so that you can get more mental health information during this COVID time, and then just stay tuned with us. So I will go towards answering the question if we have. Okay. Okay, so I think Rayana is asking about ambivalence to return back to work post MCO. I think this is perfectly normal. I am unsure about the ambivalence point that you were having, but then because previously we were unsure about, are we going to stay home? Are we going to just readjust how we work from home? And there's a lot of ambivalence because we are all readjusting to the new norms, to the new rules, to the new routine. And now that we already adjusted, like working from home, actually it's not all too bad, because we don't have to start with the jam, and then we don't have to consider a lot of difficulties about like daily logistics, and then we can spend more time with our children. And we could have started, we started to get more adjusted, that we are more comfortable with such routine now. But then the post MCO come, and we have to go back to the routine that we used to have before, and it means another readjustment time is going to come. So I think it is perfectly normal that you will get ambivalence, you will get mixed feelings, and then you have to leave what you already been comfortable and suit yourself now. But I think that this is perfect. But I felt like if you would have a ability or the resiliency to adjust to the new norms in the past during the MCO, means that you would have the ability and resiliency to readjust very quickly back to how you were in the previous routine. So don't worry about it, Rayana, and all the best to you. Okay, and we have another question from Azizul A. I know a few single mothers whose income are affected during the crisis. Is there any job that they can do to earn more income to support their children? I think this is a very good question. That so far, because of the MCO, and then I know that there are some of the parents, some of the single mother, they could be daily paid, and then if you're not working, and then the shop is not opening, and then you're not paid, or you might get a salary reductions. So it is a very, very distressing moment, I would say. So, if you were to talk about the physical job, I think it will be challenging for now. But then I would actually recommend, because I felt like it's a big market. I don't know, maybe you can explore it out on the online, because the several mothers that I knew, and they actually make cakes, and they make food, make crafts, and sell it online. Actually, they are getting quite a lot of like feedback. Yeah, quite a lot of people are buying, and we can never know that how much talented we are until we are, like try it out. Maybe you can have some passion, or your interest, or your hidden talent, maybe. Because I know a lot of hidden cook during the MCO period. So yeah, you can just try it out, and then do it online, do it part time, and then for now that or get involved of your children to actually cook it, or make some crafts to put it online and sell, and see if you can get some more income for the children. So I think that uh, okay. Shout out to single fathers out there too. Yes, I think that is pretty much a very important thing. And then single mothers, they are affected, and single fathers, yes, they are affected as well, and more equally important. Where all these slides, the things that we are saying right now, actually, it's also applicable to the single fathers as well. So a single father and single mother, and for single parenthood, I root for all of you and all the best. And because of time has already come, it's sad to leave everyone, but I still want to wish everyone all the best and all is well. And take care during the MCO time. And thank you very much for staying tuned.